Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
I'm joined right now by Will Bolduc. Sir, you're taking on Ned Spears at Valor Fights 32, and the flyweight title is what's going to be up for grabs. Obviously, when a title fight is on the horizon for any fighter, whether it's going to defend it, whether you're going to try and claim it, there's always a slight bit of added pressure. How do you feel going into this fight with the fight camp? How's your mental state going into this?
Yeah, man. Well, since I took the title over a year ago, I've only been able to defend it once, and so far I felt, the most at the top of my game going into that first title defense. That being said, right now I feel, 10 times better than that. I've got to put in I'm already 4 weeks into fight camp. We're putting in a solid 8-week camp for this fight. And, honestly, man, I feel top of my game. I haven't felt better.
With the flyweight division, I personally, and even Mike's not here at the moment, he's tied up with work. He works on shifts, so he couldn't be here. But with the flyweight division, I love the flyweight division, and like I said, Mike is too. You see the combination of a ridiculous amount of speed in a guy or a lady, but you also see the technique in that speed. So it's not just lashed out at speed just for the sake of getting out there quick. There's an immaculate amount of technique put into this weight class, and I think that's something that a lot of people maybe don't appreciate enough. I love the flyweight division. So when you're fighting the flyweights, do you feel there's enough depth around in the flyweight division? Is there enough guys about on the regional scene to take on?
Sure. Well, man, it's funny because so far I haven't had very much luck with guys actually making the flyweight limit. That's been my issue. It seems like there are guys coming, out of nowhere wanting to take fights at, flyweight, but I've had very few actually make the weight. So that seems to be the biggest issue. I think guys are wanting to fight the division. It's just, whether or not they can make the weight. That being said, Ned Spears, this guy that I'm fighting, on April 29th, I had actually never heard of him until this fight was booked. So I don't know, maybe this division's more oversaturated than I realized. Who knows?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I love the flyweight division, but there's so many weight classes. It is hard to keep up with them. It is, and especially when you think about, you go from, let's say you start at the UFC, Bellator, then you go to like World Series of Fighting, RFA, Titan. You start to work down your way. It is very difficult to keep up with every weight class and every fighter. It's one of them ones where.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any then particular fighters on your radar then in the flyweight division on the regional scene that you think having a fight with them, beating those guys will kind of help yourself in your career?
Not at the moment. I'm still considered an amateur, and the way we're looking at it right now, this is my last AMI fight before I make my pro debut. At that point, I think anything's going to help me out. There's a lot of guys, especially in this area, that are competing at flyweight professionally that I've already beat as an amateur. So I think things should go pretty well for me at the beginning of my pro career.
Oh, okay, then that's good then. So what was the decision made about? Was it just, right, get the title, defend the belt twice, and then go to pro? Is that, or do you feel like you're ready for that step up to the pro ranks?
Well, I certainly feel like I'm ready for the step up now. I went through a bit of a change in my career a little over a year ago. A change of camps. I ended up with a new camp, a new coach, and we wanted to feel things out for a while before we made that pro jump. So I'm ready now, man. I'm at a point in my career, my life, my training, where everything's kind of lining up, and I feel good, real positive. And I'm on a bit of a winning streak. The holding the title certainly doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt. Let me say.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt at all. No, it will certainly help you when you go up to the pro ranks. You'll have that confidence, that, like say, that momentum, which definitely makes a big difference. So then,
Yeah.
like you said, Ned is the last kind of amateur fight you'll look to have. How long do you want to wait till you make your pro fight then? Do you want to give it like a few months afterwards, make sure you get like a good 8 to 10 week camp in, or?
Yeah, I'm all about putting solid camps in, so I would want to put in at least an 8-week camp, which seems to be my minimum for a camp. I don't prepare for any less than that. So yeah, I mean, at least 8 weeks.
Well, the good thing is with the area where you're in, you've got Valor fights. They will probably jump at the chance to get you on their card as a pro and get you matched up straight away, because Tim is a great guy there and he's doing a lot of fabulous work at that promotion.
Yeah, certainly. And you know, it's something that we've discussed. So I certainly think there will be a place for me whenever I decide to make that jump. I see it probably being this summer, but I won't promise anything though.
So then, the amateur ranks, how do you feel you developed from the amateur ranks then? Because obviously to get to the pro ranks you must feel confident in your skill set. What do you feel then that was your kind of weaker areas that you brought up from the amateur ranks?
Man, for me it's been more of a mental struggle than anything really. I had a hard time just getting off of the cage for a while. I would perform really well in training and then freeze up in the cage, and that was just something that it took a while for me to get past. You know, now I'm at a point where I'm on a bit of a winning streak and holding this title and feeling really confident. So mostly it was just a battle with myself more than anything.
Well, yeah. Well, the best example I've always said is Joe Riggs. You know, what everyone said is he is the best fighter in the world when you're training. When you're in training in behind closed doors, he literally would steamroll everyone. But when it came to the big lights, you put him in the cage, it just wasn't the same guy. He just froze up, and he was like, he's the guy, and that happens even to like people like that. You know, it's something that people don't spend enough time looking at. I think it's very much overlooked, and I think it's a serious issue when a guy has a potential, a skill set. Sometimes that mental block does come in; it does affect them.
Yeah, there's a million different variables that take place inside that cage, and yeah, it's interesting how the human mind handles those things. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I froze up for a while.
It does, yeah. I'll tell you what, even when I've stepped in the cage, you know, sometimes you just think, why am I thinking what I'm thinking right now? That thought doesn't need to be here, and you can't get rid of it. You just won't go.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, for me that was my biggest struggle, was just getting past that. But I'm at a place now where you know, long before I step into the cage, I feel that I've won the fight already, and that continues with me mentally throughout the fight. That seems to help quite a bit.
Look, I won't lie. Even though you've still got this fight to come up with Ned, I'm looking forward to another addition to the flyweights in the pro ranks. You know, I look forward to seeing your name out there with the big, you know, eventually with the big shows, and getting yourself out there, because I'm all about the flyweight division. The guys, you know, I think the weight class itself is so entertaining. You know, Ian McCall,
I appreciate that.
Honestly, Ian McCall's a friend of mine. I love, you know, and we have a bit of a giggle and a bit of a chat and about the weight class. But at the end of the day, I love the guys and I love that weight class, man. So look, Will, before I let you shoot off, have you got any social media stuff out there that people can jump onto and give you a follow?
Yeah, of course, man. I have every angle of social media pretty much covered. You could, I'm on Facebook, Will Bolduc MMA, or on Twitter, I'm at the Will Bolduc. I also run a website and host a podcast called Full Frontal MMA. You can catch us out there at fullfrontalmma.com. That's where I speak my mind mostly.
I will put the link on the description, ladies and gentlemen, for his page and stuff. What about, have you got any sponsors? Anyone out there helping you out in the fight camps?
Yeah, really, I just want to thank my coach and training partners, Josh Kate at D1 MMA. We're here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Anybody looking to get into the game just for self-confidence boost or training, come check us out. Besides that, man, that's pretty much it. That's
fine, buddy. Well, look, Will, have a great fight against Ned. Have a great weekend at Valor Fights. It's Fight for Autism. It's for a great cause. They're doing the whole event. They'll hopefully raise a lot of money. It will go to a great cause, helping people out. And look, good luck in your 2016 pro career. It's going to happen as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.